I would like to discuss now on what would a typical distorted mother figure would look like. I want to talk more elaborately on that because it has become such a prevalent trend, not just trend actually, it has been a very prevalent thing in families these days, and more so in the past few decades, and it is very dark and distorted that it has even overpowered in some way the perversion and the distortion in the father figures. The male distortion I've already mentioned. Okay, all the crimes and all the illegal stuff, intrusion of privacies and the disrespect and violations of all kinds, and in every area of a child's life typically I have mentioned, but more so focusing on a female child. But I would cover on other aspects later, but now I want to pay more attention to what a distorted mother figure would look like. Typical dangerous dark mother figure. So she doesn't ever have the nurturing capacity for anything, not even for herself. But she likes the attention she gets by being a mother, as if like a medal of honor just for having a womb and just for having a child, because it's a troubling period. So literally these women would like to take advantage of that period, that vulnerable period, as a way to exploit from others, as a way to get sympathy from others, as a way to get benefits from others, favors, advantages that are involved with that process. Just like people have friendships and relationships with that kind of intentions, which I've already covered. This is typically of women who these kind of women typically enter into convenient and profitable based and benefiting based contractual marriages, like I mentioned previously. Typical cult contractual marriages. This is everything distorted has to come from devil, which means they are coming from these kind of organizations, because they all worship ultimately the dark evil forces. So their marriage itself was based on some kind of a benefit, superficial convenience, or a materialistic favor, and an assignment based. So when they have child, even that is literally part of the assignment. Yeah, some don't have, they make a choice not to have children, and that is also part of the assignment. Yeah, literally. So the woman who has a child, okay, or prefers to call or put herself in a position of mother figure for all sorts of wrong reasons. So she doesn't have anything motherly about her, because first of all there is nothing uplifting in her. She herself doesn't love or care for herself. She looks for superficial material things. There is no respect for stuff, respect for anything in general. See, one basic thing you will find in anybody who is not a respectful person is there is this basic indignity to themselves, the lack of boundaries for themselves and lack of respect for boundaries for others. The same way, lack of self-respect and lack of appreciation for a no and a self-respect from other persons. They are so insecure in themselves that they always have to blame and put their attention out for others. And this is the underlying nature of this distorted mother figure. Okay, so she has already married for the sake of benefits and superficial reasons and some kind of a material profitable It's like a venture for them, contractual venture. So the child is also going to be of the same sort. It's already an illegitimate marriage and an illegitimate child arrangement. And when they have it, it's solely because it has benefits in it. Not only contractual, but it has the psychological, emotional, financial benefits to having a child or children. That would be the only reason they would have it, because then they would use that vulnerable phase of pregnancy and after having baby as a way to, they literally throw themselves and the child onto others and would use something or the other, some kind of a drama. They love drama, they thrive only on drama. There is nothing stable or insecure about their existence. You would see it and you would know it. So they literally create some kind of a drama, some kind of a situation or scenario where they would sit on their asses, and while the rest, someone good, nice, or someone who really have something of a good nature in them and motherly nature in them would literally take care of them and the child. And this is majorly what I'm talking about when it comes to psychological and emotional benefits, apart from the financial benefits. They would want to be looked up to, or they would expect gifts and favors and expect a lot of slack because they are inherently lazy. They don't really take care of themselves or others or the places they go to, or generally anything, things or objects also, material things and objects also. So they are lazy, they don't want to earn anything. They're a freeloader, again a thief, but you have to look for the whole characteristics of behavior so that you would notice and run away from them if you see someone like that. So they would burden others, using that phase to burden others, and then even after the child comes into picture, they would use that as an excuse instead of taking responsibility and actually taking care of after the birth. They would literally expect the entitlement, expect everybody around them, especially those who are good natured and kind and who are nurturing in general, who have those tendencies that they don't have. They would literally throw themselves and the child onto them and expect them to take care of them and treat them with luxury or favors and all the freeloading. They wouldn't contribute anything. They by default expect that everybody else around them should now take care of them with utmost care and they would literally demand everything and create drama to get what they want, including attention, just using this vulnerable phase and pregnancy and giving birth and having a young child and hormonal, all this very normal, natural, very common to every single lady as an excuse to justify their behavior and expect everybody to tolerate it. They were already horrible before that, but this would amplify because they would now use that as an excuse to bulldoze everybody around them to get what they want. They create lots of drama, just the entitlement. Oh, I gave birth, so I'm supposed to be. They literally don't want to lift a finger. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to take responsibility for anything. They would think it's already something so much they did already just by getting pregnant and giving birth. And that is the attitude from which the child literally starts their journey in that kind of environment. create differences, boundaries, and dramas between the child and the other parent, the child and the outside world, the child and their other friends, the child and now from this point of time everything becomes about control. See, every insecure person is always desperate for controlling others except for themselves. And when it comes to benefits, they would like everything, but when it comes to responsibilities, they would like to throw on others. These are all freeloaders, thieves. You give them a 0.1 millimeter of space, they would take away 100 kilometers of your space and claim it and just literally lazily be the bum ass and walk all over you and expect you to just be okay with it. A typical narcissist actually, but I want to go into the nature and behaviors that you would have to look for and run away from, because any sensible person doesn't need that kind of negativity around them. So this is the environment they already started off with. And then the unfortunate thing is they get into competition with their own child if it is a female child. If it is a female child, this woman already has no capacity for nurturing, warmth, love, or anything like that. On top of it, she would literally compare and compete and have issues accepting her own child when it's a female child. She would be jealous, envious. It's not every insecure, again low level person is always carried away by this inherent jealous, because they are insecure in themselves, so they would always want to look outside and find problem with others, or find something to steal from others, find something to be bothered by others' existence. If only they showed the same kind of attention and reflection onto their own life, they would realize how much of a nuisance they are in the first place to others. Alas, what a world it would be if that day would come. So this distorted woman literally starts competing, comparing, and putting down her own female child because she literally, just like she looks at every other woman around her as a problem and a threat and a competition, she looks at the female child the same way and makes the life of the child a living hell from there. She creates challenges, obstacles, she interferes in her life choices, her preferences, her likes and desires, and criticizes so that she would be put down. She will not build enough confidence. She won't build her life. She won't have important decisions will be hijacked and bypassed and made by her instead of the child itself. Even when they grow into adult, the irony of it is they would always want to put them down, burden them with everything, and their behavior is as if they don't want them around, because they don't respect them or accept them or love them, let alone care about them. But they would still want that person around them, because see, if you leave such kind of insecure person alone, they are left with their own company, which they themselves cannot tolerate for 2 seconds. So just to put someone down, they would want that child around. So the child literally becomes the reason of why they even had them, is not only for financial, psychological, emotional benefits, but now they will feel important and powerful, because now they are in a position of authority where they would be able to control and dominate this infant's choices, their life, everything about them. They would literally, they cannot even see them as a human being. They would literally look at them as an object, which they would like to mold like a toy they would like to play with. Just like all the sick people I already mentioned about, these are the kinds of women who enter into these cults and dark practices. They practice witchcraft, they practice magic, they do spells, they put curses on their own children, their own husbands, so they would look important. And there is no boundaries of any kind for with these people. If having sex with somebody is beneficial, they would do it. They would just do it. If doing something illegal is fine, they would just casually do it. In fact, they feel important and powerful that someone asked them to do something. But if you ask them to do something decent, kind of drama they would put up with, and kind of noise they would make, as if you asked for something very bad. The reactions would be extremely opposite. You ask for something decent, the whole volcano erupts. Okay? But you go with something indecent, something cruel, criminal, downright disrespectful and disgraceful. They would be like, it's fun. These are the kind of women who gossip. Again, gossiping is ritual. Put your words and your eyes on somebody, their life, their choices, their appearance, whatever you don't like about them, and then keep on talking about it. It's like putting a curse on somebody. That's why they do it in groups. That's why they do it behind somebody's back. That's why they come in groups and secretly do it. It's all humiliation. Again, it's part of humiliation rituals. Because why would you want to put yourself in a place where you are sitting in the company of other people and talk about somebody else's personal life or their whatever lives and discuss it in detail and then make some shitty comments about it and then laugh about it and then joke about it or humiliate someone behind their back, and then in their presence you act something different. They love gossiping, they love slandering, they love looking into other people's life. Again, like I said, they don't have the basic respect or decency for privacy and space like that. And they do the same intrusion within their own children's lives also. They won't leave them, the child, with any sense of agency. Because the whole idea was to control. But at the same time, when it comes to responsibility aspects, they would rather dump all the responsibilities onto others. It doesn't always have to be even the husband. They would find any good-natured person around them. They would find an excuse to go to their house or go to their neighborhood or go here, go wherever, just so they can dump their responsibilities and the child and everything, the caretaking, to somebody else, and they can sit on their asses and not contribute anything. The same thing that they do in their own houses, they would do everywhere else also. But they talk. The mouth is always busy. But the hands and legs, the brain, they won't use any of the useful parts. And they use their private parts for some kind of a gain shamelessly. But they pretend and project like they are respectful women. The same way they project this shame and guilt, this inherent, she is not a good person, she knows it, she would rather not accept it, so she projects this blame and shame onto the child, male or female, doesn't matter, but mostly they would love it if it is a female child, because they love breaking down anybody. And if you have a small infant in your own home and it's a female, and you are inherently jealous and insecure of any other female's existence, they would make their life a living hell. They would not make sure that this child would not have enough self-respect or boundaries or enough strength to be herself. The identity of who she is, anything and everything in her life would be almost like she would project everything that she don't like onto her. That is one thing. She would compete and make her life difficult. That is one thing. She would harass and torture. She doesn't need enemies from outside. The child would already have an enemy by the time she's born. It's like that. And it's right next to her. And she behaves as if even feeding a child is a big deal and she should be rewarded for it. She would be rewarded just for existing. That would be her attitude. This is again a narcissistic tendency by default, without doing any work. These are all gold diggers, losers, like I said, freeloaders, the one who doesn't want to do any work, but when it comes to favors and benefits and advantages, they are the first to come and stand in line shamelessly. And so they literally burden other people around them, find excuses to burden other people with their own presence and their children's presence and their responsibilities as much as possible. You would even question, like, if she doesn't even want to take care of them, why would she even have them? Because the reasons were entirely different. It's not because she would rather be a nurturing person and responsible person. It's totally entirely different. You would never know. Mostly you won't know, because they were never decent enough in the first place. In the same way, this kind of distorted mothers, again, they create narratives within their own families, between siblings, if there is another child, between the father and the children, between everybody. They become the controller of information, and that way likes to play God, likes to manipulate, create drama, create chaos, plug each other's emotions and play games with them, and then watch as they create drama and chaos and problems and issues in their own home, but they would watch happily as the game unfolds. So they actively cause destruction and chaos and disturbance on a regular daily basis and enjoys it. Sometimes openly, sometimes indiscreet, but they would love it, they would orchestrate it. For that they have enough energy and all that, but not to take the real adult responsibilities. But they would have the benefits of it.